Well, hello, sixth graders. Today we're going to learn about coordinate plane. And you learned this in fifth grade, but you only learned the first quadrant. So today we're going to add a little bit more. So an ordered pair is the first thing we're going to talk about. An ordered pair of numbers identifies the location of a point. So we have two numbers in an ordered pair. They have parentheses around them with a comma in the middle. We call the first one an X and the second one a Y. So those two numbers are going to give us the location of whatever point we are talking about in the problem. Okay, so let's talk about X and Y. X values are independent. We're going to call them independent. Okay, independent. And we are going to look at the x-axis to find the x values. So the x-axis is this axis right here. Hopefully we remember that from fifth grade. And the x-axis, we call that the horizontal axis. The horizontal axis, because we are going left and right. So this again right here, the horizontal, that is my x-axis. So we're going to go ahead and fill that in. So anytime we're talking about x, we are talking about going horizontally. The next thing we have is the y-axis. The y-axis, the y values, we call those dependent values. Dependent. Okay, and those are my vertical values, so the up and down. So that is my y-axis. Okay, and again, those are my vertical values because they go up and down. So x is independent, y is dependent, and then we go back and forth, okay? So after that, we're going to go down here to the bottom, and it says the coordinate plane is divided into blank quadrants. So a quad means four, so there are 4 quadrants. And then we actually write those with Roman numerals. They make the letter C. So going back up to my coordinate plane, I am going to think about the letter C. So my C starts up here, goes around. So what that means is if I start in this quadrant, this is called quadrant 1. So everything in this part is in quadrant 1, okay? And then if I continue to make my letter C, I go into this quadrant. So we cross over that y-axis. This is now quadrant 2. So now everything in this corner is quadrant 2. If I continue making my C, I go into this corner, which is going to be quadrant 3. Okay, so everything in this section is quadrant 3. And then if I finish out my letter C, this is quadrant 4, and in Roman numerals, it looks like IV. So everything in this corner is quadrant 4. So they are separated by the y and the x-axis. So quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay? The last thing we're going to talk about is the center of the coordinate plane where the x and the y meet. So right there in the middle is called the origin. That is where everything begins. So anytime we start plotting, we are going to start at the origin, okay? And that point, if you notice, all of our numbers are getting smaller as we go to that point. So that point is 0, 0. So hopefully that vocabulary kind of helps you a little bit. And then we're going to go to the inside of our notes, and we are actually going to practice graphing some points, okay? So when plotting points on the coordinate grid, the first thing we're going to do is walk left and right. Then we're going to go up or down. So I like to think of that as if we were to go left and right, that is my horizontal. Okay, so horizontal is left and right. So we're going to do that first. And then after that, we're going to go up and down, which is our vertical. So we need to know that vocabulary again. So up and down. Okay? Other ways we can write that. The horizontal, remember, is our X and our Y. So we're going to walk on my X and then go up and down in my Y. We can also think of it one more way. We can think of the X as my walk, because we can walk left and right, but we can't walk up or down. So I think of that as my elevator. Elevators go up and down. So we're going to walk and then we're going to get in our elevator. Okay? So let's go down here at the bottom and we're actually going to plot some points and label them. So first thing I like to do is I like to label my X and my Y. So the first number is my X and my second number is my Y. So my walk number is 5, my elevator number is 9. So we're going to go look at the coordinate plane. So we're going to start there at the origin every single time, and notice that when I am looking at my number line, it starts at 0 and then doesn't have a number here, but then it goes to 2. So I can go ahead and label. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So every box on this one counts as 1 because it's counting by ones. So we can go ahead and label that. So let's go back to the origin. So we're going to start there at the origin, and I'm going to walk to positive 5. So that means I have to go this direction because my 5 is over here. This side all has negatives, so I can't go that way. So starting here, I'm going to walk to 5, okay? And if I do that, I am right here, but that's not finished. I then have to get in my elevator. So if I am at 5 and I go in my elevator, so I'm going to go to 5, and my elevator has to go up because it's a positive 9. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And notice I was counting those boxes. So every box is 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So to plot that, I actually need to put a dot there. And then we can double check. Do I have a 5 down here? Yes, I do. Do I have a 9? What's between 8 and 10? That would be my 9, so that is correct. And then I'm going to label it A. Okay? So the next one is B. It has X, Y. So my walk is 0. My elevator is 4. So we're going to go back to the origin, and it says I have to walk 0. So I'm not walking anywhere. I'm going to stay right there at the origin. So if I walk 0 and then I'm going to get in my elevator, I cannot go down because that's negative 4. So I'm going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is where my dot would be. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dot there on the line, not next to the line, on it. And then I'm going to label it B. Okay, let's do a C. I have an X and I have a Y. So let's go back to the origin. And this time I have to walk negative 6. So I can't go this way because that's a positive. So I have to walk to negative 6. So I can go, there's negative 6. So I did it. Or you can count your boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6. Perfect. And then I have a positive 8.5. So I need to go up because I'm positive. But let's look. It is 8.5. So I need to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 0.5 would be right there in the middle. We can't go all the way to 9, so it would go right there in the middle. So let's go ahead and put our dot there. And again, it goes in the middle of those lines. So it's not on the corners, it's in the middle, and that is C. Okay, so let's do D. I have X, Y. Hopefully we notice that the 7/2 is a fraction. Well, that's fun. Okay, so 7 over 2, we would cowboy and horse this. So 7 goes inside. 2 goes outside. Take off my boots and hat. Eat 2 donuts. Okay. Okay, I think it's finished. Okay, so that would give me 3.5. I already know that answer, so I'm not going to do that division. But that negative is there, so it stays there. So I have negative 3.5, comma 0. Okay, again, if it's a negative fraction, it's a negative decimal. So let's go up to our quadrant, our coordinate plane. We're going to start at 0. I'm going to walk to 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go 1/2. So right there in the middle, and then my elevator is 0. So I just stay right there. There's nowhere to walk. There's no elevator. So I go 3.5. It's going to go in the middle on the line, not next to the line, on the line, and that is D. Okay, we have 2 more. So let's do -2, -6. So I'm going to start at my origin, and I'm going to walk to -2, and then I'm going to get in my elevator and go down 6. Remember, down because it's negative. So I have 1, that number's kind of covering it up, but that's a box. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I can put my dot right there, and that is E. And then last one, I have 8, -5. So starting at the origin, I'm going to walk to +8. And then -5 would be down. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can even go over and check. That would be -5. Perfect. So that is F. Okay. So make sure we walk, then get in our elevator. And we have 4 quadrants, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, and we always start at the origin.